A rational, natural, scientific, and strict philosophical critique of Darwinian evolution. What follows is not an attack on any individual, nation, or intention, but a purely intellectual, rational, natural, scientific, and philosophical critique of the theory of evolution, specifically the Darwinian framework. This critique is uncompromising, unsentimental, and academically severe. It targets methodology, assumptions, explanatory power, and philosophical foundations, not emotions, beliefs, or rhetoric. 1. The fundamental fallacy, confusing science with narrative. The most basic flaw in this entire presentation and in Darwinism as a whole is the conflation of science with narrative. Scientific fact requires repeatability, direct observation, and experimental verification. Darwinian evolution, by contrast, is a reconstructed historical narrative about the deep past. No human being has ever observed Fuca or Luca, witnessed the transformation of one species into another, or reproduced such transitions in a laboratory. These claims are not experimental science, they are historical reconstructions built on inference, not certainty. Inference is not falsity, but it is not empirical proof. 2. Common ancestry is an assumption, not an observed reality. The video repeatedly presents common ancestry as an established fact, whereas in reality, no common ancestor has ever been directly observed. No complete fossil of such an ancestor exists. No genetic sample of it exists. Its existence is assumed by interpreting present-day similarities. The underlying logic is this: since A and B are similar, therefore C must have existed. This is not logical necessity, it is explanatory convenience. Similarity does not logically require a shared ancestor. Similarity can arise from functional necessity, structural constraints, or purposeful design. Shared traits do not automatically imply shared origin. 4. DNA similarity, percentage games, and conceptual deception. Chimpanzees share 99% of human DNA is more rhetorical than scientific. Key facts: this percentage is based on selected regions, not the full genome. Regulatory genes, those controlling gene expression, show crucial differences. Minor genetic changes can produce massive biological and cognitive divergence. If the remaining 1% is insignificant, then one must explain language, abstract reasoning, morality, art, religion, mathematics, self-awareness, awareness of death. These traits are not required for survival, often contradict survival logic. They are ontological, not biological. Darwinism has no explanation for why humans are persons rather than animals. 6. Evolution as fact is a sociological claim, not a scientific one. The claim that 97% of scientists agree is an argument of authority, not from evidence. Science does not operate by consensus. Truth is not determined by votes. History is filled with majority errors. The real question is not who believes it, but rather what has been demonstrably proven. 7. Darwinism is not a complete worldview, only a limited biological model. Darwinism does not explain the origin of life, consciousness, rationality, moral values, information in DNA. It is a partial biological framework, not a comprehensive explanation of reality. Turning Darwinism into metaphysics, anthropology, or existential philosophy is not science, it is scientific overreach. Final conclusion without compromise. This video presents narrative, not demonstration, assumption, not certainty, interpretation, not explanation. Darwinism may explain minor biological adaptations, but it fails to explain life itself, consciousness, intelligence, the human condition. Therefore, it is less science and more Darwinian storytelling. This is not a rejection of science, it is a refusal to allow science to become ideology.